Good evening, guys. Tony back again, Horror in Todge. Hope you're all well. We're on to day 12 of the 31 Days of Horror. Like I keep saying, flying through, loving getting these movies knocked out for you guys to chuck a review out. So we'll get straight in with the review, guys, for day 12. And this film's just had a recent 4K release from Severin. It's a 70s film, and it is Blood for Dracula, film from 1974. It's an Andy Warhol presents film, same as Flesh for Frankenstein, as you guys know. And it's sort of an indie cult classic. A lot of people do love this film. I'm glad it got a 4K release. And it's directed by Paul Morrissey. And it stars Udo Kier, Joe D'Alessandro and Stefano Cassini. And essentially it's, a straight up Dracula movie, but Udo Kier plays Dracula fantastically well in this. I think he's like, very tall and thin and gaunt and white faced. He just got a spot on as a vampire. He plays it very well. So Dracula's at home with his sister in Transylvania, in the castle, and basically the pair of them are dying, and he sort of his helper or butler suggests going to Italy to try and find a bride because he needs virgin blood to stay alive. He's got about 2 weeks to live. He's sort of in a wheelchair, and he's rolling in pain and stuff. He's just he hasn't had the right blood. If they don't have virgin blood, it does him more harm than good, basically. So he needs virgin blood basically to stay alive. So they travel to Italy in a car of all things. So it didn't set in, Georgian times or Victorian times. It must be about 1940s maybe, something like that, because it's a really old car. And he sort of puts his coffin on the top. Great music, by the way, in this. I really love the soundtrack by Claudio Guise, I think his name is, Italian guy. It's beautiful soundtrack, some great sort of melodies in there. And it just, when he was travelling to Italy from Transylvania, he had some good music in there, and it was really cool 70s vibe to it. And like I say, he travels to Italy to sort of get his bride, and they stumble upon, in the Italian countryside, they stumble across this like aristocracy sort of landowner who's got these 4 daughters. But the house is a bit run down. The dad sort of blew all his money on gambling and stuff, so they're looking to marry off the daughters too. And it just plays out like that. So Dracula ends up at this sort of, big old house. Great setting, by the way. Great set design in this. I thought it was a really nice 70s, big sort of Italian house with all marble and paintings on the wall, very lavish and extravagant, but just a bit run down for them not having much money. So he goes there, and he gets more than he's bargained for, really, because he thinks all these are virgins, and some of them have been playing about. Essentially, he went to Italy because his butler said, there's Catholic girls there, and most of them have got to be virgins for like the church and stuff and to marry. So he just got that in his mind. And like I say, there's 4 girls. One that's a lot older, then 2 who's sort of in the middle sort of age, and then a young one, a really young one. And he's got to sort of pick one to try and stay alive. But like I say, there's this sort of handyman around the house who's sort of knocking off these girls and stuff. So obviously they're not virgins, so there's a big problem. And it plays out like that. He's chasing these women around, very, very erotic, very sleazy. Lots of anatomies on show and stuff, and very 70s, and the women have always got the tops off and their bits out, and lots of sex and stuff. So it's not going to be for everyone. There's sort of ideas of rape and stuff in this as well, which is a bit dated now, but for a 70s film, it's not so bad. But all in all, quite a cool cat and mouse sort of film around the house. You know, Dracula trying to look for this virgin bride, and yeah, there's some cool scenes, real good gore scenes where there's lots of blood, especially the ending. If you guys have seen it, you'll know the ending, involving an axe, and it's just lots of blood and body parts. It's crazy ending, really good last 10 minutes. But I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It's just an indie classic, not the greatest acting in the world, you know, but I thought the set design, I thought it was all put together really well. Quite a cool little story, not not the greatest story in the world for I've seen in a Dracula movie, but you know, it sort of like I say, Udo Kier played him well because of what he had to do, and he was sort of frail. He wasn't a Dracula like Christopher Lee, who was really strong and that. He was just, quite frail, and he wasn't very intimidating. But yeah, lots of cool gore, some good practical effects. I think for the 70s, I think you'll get a bit of enjoyment out of it. And like I say, lots of nudity and stuff. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty decent film. I really enjoyed it for an indie film, from the 70s. Really cool movie. I'll probably give this one, well, personal score. This is only my personal score, guys. Remember, I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10 because I really, really had a lot of enjoyment out of it. I thought it was really cool the way it was put together. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Definitely watch this film if you can, guys. Blood for Dracula. Yeah, like I say, just really cool film. So glad I watched this one. So yeah, get in the comments, guys. Tell me if you've seen Blood for Dracula, what you think of it, and any questions. Get in the comments, ask me, anything like that. So yeah, that's day 12 done, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow for day 13. Thanks a lot for watching.